Hello everyone, Did here. So in this video we will talk about betrayal or syndicate. Syndicate or alpha is mostly a secondary mechanic, so you will not just do this one, you will do this and something else's. But in this video we will talk only about the betrayals, and let's get into the setup first. For the maps, I'm using T16 maps. In this case it's Glacier. I run it white. There's no point on quality or rolling the maps. You can use any other maps, it doesn't have to be Glacier. The reason why I choosing Glacier because the map is pretty small and it's easier to find the syndicate, so it makes the map a little bit faster. And that's about the maps. And for the scarabs, the only mandatory scarab is Betrayal Scarab of Intelligence, which will give you more intelligence gain from Syndicate. And the second scarab that you can put in is Betrayal Scarab of Reinforcement. This one is optional. Personally, I try with and without these scarabs. It's almost no difference, so this one is optional. The last one is Betrayal Scarab of Perpetuations. I don't really like this one because the additional scarab that it drops do not respect your Atlas tree, meaning if you block anything on Atlas tree, it will still appear. Without respecting the Atlas tree, I think the odds to get actually a good scarab is pretty low. So I don't like this one, but if you want to, you can put two of this will make 100% chance to drop additional scarabs. And for the Atlas tree, this is the Atlas tree that I'm going to use. There's a two important note that you need to take. The number one is Test of Loyalty. This is make when you execute a syndicate member, it will gain 2 rank instead of 1. And the second one that are mandatory is Effective Leadership. This is basically, and this is make your syndicate member more likely to be accompanied by the leader. And the safe house leader is very important because the higher the rank of the safe house leader will give you more mastermind intelligence. And in this run, we are chasing for Katarina, so we want as much mastermind intelligence as possible. So rank 1 leader will give you 4 mastermind intelligence per turns, and that total in 12. And the rank 2 will give you 10. That's make the total 30. And rank 3 will give you 16 per turn, and that will be total in 48. So the next one is how do you run the betrayals. And whenever you defeat the syndicate members, you will have these options. You will always have 3 options. The left one will be always interrogate. This is especially putting people in prisons and you will get intelligence for it. The middle one is release. This is especially nothing happens. And the right one will be execute or bargain. At least that's the 2 options that we care about. For the interrogate, you will imprison a member. They will lose 1 rank, but they will give you certain intelligence per turns. And in this case it's 25, and the amount of intelligence it depends on rank. So the basic idea is you want to rank them up and you want to imprison them for intelligence, and after you fill up the intelligence you can run the safe house, and from running safe house you will get the mastermind intelligence, and when you fill them up you will be able to get Katarina. And because of that, for the prison itself, you just want to fill your prisons as much as possible, because the more people on your prison, the more intelligence you will gather. But you do not want to overfill your prisons. Maximum capacity per prison is 3 members. If you force the 4th one into that one, you will lose 1, and you will also lose the intelligence. Interrogate will be your options if you do not choose anything on the right. On the right, the first one we will talk about is execute. This is going to give you +1 rank because of the Atlas, it will gain 2 ranks. If you see execute, you will always want to choose this. Now let's talk about how you do the execute. Execute only appear if you have at least 2 members, and the last person will not have execute. So if you have 2 syndicate members, the first one will have execute, the last one won't have execute. How I will do it is, number 1, if there is a safe house leader in there, safe house leader will be always the first one you execute. And after that, I will begin from the lowest rank first. So you will execute the lowest rank until you get into the last person. And for the last member, you will face the option for bargains. And this is where the options become a little bit more complicated, but I will try my best to simplify it. So number 1, you will have a bargain of intelligence. So it will give you a certain amount of intelligence. And this is really depending on the number of the intelligence. In this case, it only gives 15. While if you imprison the member, you will get 7 per turns, and for 3 turns it's 21 in total. So it's better to prison the persons. But if the intelligence it offer more, you will choose the intelligence. And the next option for bargain is, it's not just going to give you intelligence, it's going to also give you a relationship. So basically A and B become trusted, or A and B become rival. This is good on your first map after you reset your board, like after you defeat Katarina. And other than that, I will suggest to go for prisons because it gives a lot more intelligence. And the last options for bargain is it will offer to set all the prisoner free, and it will give you all the intelligence remaining from your prisoner. These options is not that good because you don't actually get extra intelligence. You will only choose these options if you really need the prison slot. If you do not need the prison slot, you will always go for interrogate. And that's basically how you run the syndicates. It takes a little bit time to get used to it, but once you get used to it, it's pretty simple. For the next one, let's talk about the breakdowns. And I do 50 of them, and in 50 of them, I got 13 fail orbs. I think this one is a little bit lucky, judging from the data. I probably will expect something like 1 fail orb in 5 syndicate, which is basically like 20% drop rate. For the profit and cost, I will leave link in the description for the spreadsheet. You can see it for yourself. The D per hour is 18. For a secondary mechanic, this is pretty good. The D per hour probably will be lower if you use it as a secondary mechanic, probably around like 10 to 15, which is not that bad for a secondary one. The total map that I run is 283. So it's around 1 syndicate in 5 or 6 map. I also got a bunch of unique. So basically in 50 syndicate, I get like 5 devouring the atoms, which is not that great, meaning drop is like around 10%. And I only get 1 paradoxica. I do not put them into the calculation because this is pretty rare drops, especially the paradoxica. And the next one we will talk about the syndicate itself, because before I try this one, I heard a lot of bad news about the syndicate, and sadly I have to agree. The problem with the new betrayal is, number one, a lot of the things feel pointless. So the safe house feel pointless because most of the reward you really don't care. The only member you care is basically just Graficious. Other member it really doesn't matter. From what member going to which house, it really doesn't matter. So the safe house feels very pointless. And if TGG really want to go for simplicity, why not make them basically work like Rogue Exile? Like, put the scarabs in, it's going to spawn syndicate members, and you can kill the syndicate members. You get intelligence, and you're going to accumulate intelligence until you can get into Katarina. So you do not need the board, because the board is pointless. It really doesn't matter which member it is. What I did is basically just rank people up and get intelligence, and that's it. And that make the gameplay become very monotonous. And also because of the reward of the safe house is not there, it feels very pointless, especially if compared to the old betrayal, which you have like for Ichi for the white socket, Hillock for the quality, and any other stuff. In the new betrayal, it feels very pointless to do the safe house. The safe house basically just to get intelligence to get the Katarina. So if they really want to make this simple, why not just remove the entire board, because you basically do not need that. And the other problem with Syndicate also, from the run that I did, it feels very buggy. Like when you do safe houses, sometimes the syndicate member just bug out. You cannot kill them. They become invulnerable. So you're gonna have to wait for a little bit until the bug's out. And the same things also go for Katarina. In Katarina fight, there is a moment when you hit the Katarina too fast, it will stuck in a certain phase, which basically she is invulnerable. So she cannot take damage, and she just do not want to face into the next phase. So it's just stuck. So what you need to do is just go away from her and let her phase out, and you can come back. This make the experience even worse because there's a bug, and the first point is the entire encounter feel very pointless. So yeah, I mean, I really don't like the new betrayal, but if you want to do it, this is one way you can do it. The reward is not that bad. The fail off, because it is expensive, so it kind of make up for it in terms of currency. It's just about the experience of doing the betrayal itself that I have a problem with. And yeah, I think that's about it for this video. And if you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe. That will help the channel a lot. And thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it, and I see you in the next one.